want to tell one more story very quickly from the same client to illustrate some of the many reasons that we often have for keeping this filter up. And in this case of this story, the reason is that we don't want to be seen as bossy or pushy. And this is a big one that stops people from elaborating when maybe they disagree with others. So in this case, she had just gone on sort of a reunion with some of her friends from college. And they don't get to spend a lot of time with each other. It's like once or twice a year that they see each other. And they were hanging out, she was having a great time, and they got on the topic of gossiping about another friend. And it wasn't just 5 minutes, it turned into 10, 15 minutes of the same topic. And at this point, she was frustrated. And she said, how do I redirect conversation? What can I say? Is there an interesting segue that I can use in any sort of scenario? I said, well, before we're trying to look for the magic pill, let's go back to the beginning of what we worked on, this filter. What were you thinking at the time? And because she'd practiced, she said, well, I was thinking that we only get to hang out just a little bit every single year. And it would be a shame to spend that time gossiping about this person who wasn't there, as opposed to connecting and talking about the things that we shared in common. I said, awesome. We can work on delivering that with tact, but this is the raw material of what we want to go with. So what if you had said, hey, girls, I know that we don't get to hang out so much. It's so awesome to see you guys. And I'd rather than gossiping about this one woman who isn't here, how have you been? I want to hear about your life. That would have redirected conversation, would have been a little bit scary, and it would have established her as a leader in that group. Now, we're going to talk about this at length in the leadership module, but when you are a leader, there is often a moment of discomfort. First, internally, when you're stepping outside and you're going, oh gosh, I'm going to stand out a little bit, and sometimes in the other people who you are maybe calling out. They might feel chastised. This is a scenario that you want to become more and more comfortable with. This is how connection is formed. It's not by consistently and always validating every single behavior that someone else does. It's by validating that individual, which she did when she said, I care about your life, and then directing the behaviors and the conversation down a path that is best for connection and is best for everyone's well-being, if you will. So I just tell that story so that you can reflect on your own life to see if there's times where your filter is up because you're worried that other people will be upset, or you're worried that they'll judge you, or you're worried that it's not going to go well if you were to share your truth in that moment. We, of course, are going to work on bringing in this tact, but for today, I really want you to get in touch with what would you say if there was no filter. Doesn't mean you have to blurt it out in every scenario, but we need to take the filter all the way down, at least so that we can become conscious of the self-censoring that we're doing, and then we can start to bring it back up just in a way that is tactful. This is huge for people who want to be authentic. It's huge for people who are gearing towards that empathetic personality, because now we're beginning to connect with people on a genuine level.